CJ Messens here on page 425. Reminder from yesterday, our interest formula was our interest is equal to our principal times our rate times our time. So P stands for principal, the amount of money that you start with. R stands for rate, usually percentage, but you want to write it as a decimal. And T stands for time in years. So Dario borrows $12,000 to buy a car. He borrows the money at a yearly or annual simplest interest rate of 4.2%. So 4.2%, we want to change that to a decimal. That should be 0.042. How much more interest will Dario owe if he borrows the money for 5 years instead of 1? So let's do 5 years versus 1 year. So our principal, our interest, my fault, is equal to our principal, 12,000, times our rate, 0.042, times the amount of time, which is 5. And over here, our interest is equal to 12,000, which is our principal, times our rate again, 0.042, times 1. I will do some calculations for you now. So for 5 years, he ends up having to pay $2,520 in interest. So he has to pay back the $12,000, but also additional $2,520. And for 1 year, he has to pay $504. And again, the question asks for how much more. So you're just going to go ahead and subtract 2,520 minus 504. It's $2,016 more for borrowing for 5 years. This is a key thing about interest. The longer you take to pay off, the more money you actually end up paying. Sometimes not a very good thing. Move over to page 427 and skip down to number 4. How does the formula I equals PRT show proportional relationship between simple interest and time? Well, interest is, or I, is a constant dependent on the amount of time. The constant rate of proportionality is P, our principal, times our R. So like our principal and our rate aren't going to change, but the amount of time is going to change. And as a result, when the amount of time changes, interest changes. Move to page 428. So Ava borrows $600 to buy a bike at a yearly rate, simple interest rate of 2.25%. So our principal is 600. Our rate is 0.0225. And she borrows it for 3 years. How much does Ava pay in simple interest? How much does Ava pay in all? So interest is simply 600 times 0.0225 times 3. And our interest gets us $40.50 or 40.5. That's not how much she pays in all. She pays that in interest. So in all, you take the principal, 600, you add it to $40.50, and she pays $640.50 in all. That's the thing about interest, right? You borrow money at the start, and you pay back all that money plus interest by the end. Number 8, Zen borrows $1,200. She borrows the money for 2 years, owes $180 in simple interest. What is the yearly simple interest rate on our loan? So our principal is $1,200. Our rate is, we don't know, so we could almost say that that's X. Our time is 2 years. We actually know our interest, it's 180. So if we look at the equation I equals PRT, our interest is 180. We know that. We plug that in. Our principal is $1,200. Our time is 2. Our rate is something that we don't know. So 180 is equal to 2,400 X, because I got 1,200 times 2. Now this is just a one-step equation where 2,400 times x. To undo that, I divide. And our rate is x is equal to 0.075. So as a percentage, we pay 7.5% interest rate. And so you had to work a little bit backwards on that one. It is always helpful to write out the equation and then start plugging in the variables that you know and then solve for the variable that you don't know. It's like a two-step or one-step equation. For your exit ticket, a bank offers a savings account with a very simple interest rate of 2%. Suppose you deposit $550, so your principal is $550. Your rate is 2% or 0.02. How much simple interest will you rate in 4 years? Your time is 4, right? But then also it says 4 years and 6 months, right? So same problem, 550, rate of 0.02. Your time this time is 4 years and 6 months. 6 months is half a year, so your time would really be 4.5. So you want to use the equation I equals PRT for both of these, plug in your variable, and figure out how much interest you earn in both cases. Make sure to hit submit.